Hi everybody, so today we're going to talk about sentence patterns. So think about the different types of possibilities involved in playing football. When the center hikes the ball to the quarterback passes it to a receiver, hands it off, or perhaps keeps the ball himself and runs with it. Those who really understand football, however, know that only a limited number of patterns are possible in the game. Similarly, English sentences use a limited number of patterns. We will be learning the 5 basic sentence patterns in our class. The first type is the subject and verb pattern. So the basic subject-verb sentence pattern consists of a subject and a verb. The following sentence is in this pattern. Fido barks. First, you find the verb. The part of the sentence that includes the verb is called the predicate. To find the verb, ask yourself, what happens? Find the word that shows action or being. In the sentence above, the action is barks, so barks is the verb. The simple subject is the word that acts or causes the action. The complete subject includes any modifiers or other words that goes with the simple subject. To find that simple subject, ask yourself, who barks? Fido does, so Fido is the subject. The simple subject is always a noun or a pronoun. So here's a couple more examples of the subject and verb pattern. Anthony left early. So our action is left, right? You can walk away. Who left? Anthony, okay? This ancient plumbing leaked badly. Leaked is our verb, right? That's our action. What leaked? The plumbing. The noisy frog in the pond croaked throughout the night. So this one looks a little bit trickier because it's longer. But we actually have 2 prepositional phrases here. So in the pond and throughout the night are prepositional phrases. So we can pretend like those are extra information and we don't need those for the sentence. So instead, if we said the noisy frog croaked, we know noisy is describing frog and croaked is our action, right? It can make a croaking sound. What croaked? The frog, okay? So here's our first practice set. In the following sentences, underline the verbs and italicize the simple subjects. So Florence sat on the couch. Sat is our action. Who sat? Florence. So number 1, the roof collapsed. Collapsed is our action. And who collapsed? Or what collapsed? The roof. So I would italicize that. But I'm on my iPad, so I can't. Okay? So go ahead and find the subject and the verb in the following sentences. We did this yesterday, so this is a little more review, okay? Pause me here, and I'll meet you in the next one. Alright, so this may look familiar to you, or this may look brand new. We are going to learn how to diagram sentences. I think that it really helps giving each word a place in a diagram. So to kind of help us figure out where they're supposed to go in the sentence and their purpose in the sentence. So we're going to start again with the subject-verb pattern. We're in pattern 1. So we're going to learn how to diagram, not diagram, these subject-verb sentence patterns. So visualizing sentences is helpful in understanding the structure of English. Linguists have devised a system of diagrams to illustrate the pattern of a sentence. Diagramming a sentence involves placing words on lines that connect to form a frame that shows how all of the words are related. The diagram for a subject-verb pattern looks like this. So we have our horizontal line here where the subject and the verb sits. And then we have our vertical line that goes a little bit below the horizontal line and above, okay? So it crosses like a T. So here's an example. Uh-oh, this got all messed up. I'll fix this when I put this in your assignment. But in the sentence, Fido barks, going back to the first slide, or the first couple slides, you already know that barks is the verb. To determine the simple subject, ask who or what barks. The answer is Fido, so Fido goes in the subject part of the diagram. Note that all capitalized words in the sentence are also capitalized in the diagram frame, and all lowercase words are lowercase in the diagram frame. So let me make this look normal. My handwriting is not as good as the typing, obviously, but let me show you. So Fido is our subject. Fido does what? Fido barks. And I even have an error here because I have this B capitalized. Okay, so Fido barks is my diagram for this one. So here's our practice. You're gonna get out a separate piece of paper and a pencil or pen. I need you guys to write neatly because I need to understand what you're writing, and I'm collecting this to check your understanding and if I need to help you a little bit more with this, okay? So get out a paper and a pencil and pause me here and come back so I can give you your directions, okay? All right, so after you have your paper and your pencil, you are going to put your paper in MLA format. Y'all have had me before, you know what I require. So on the left-hand side, remember MLA format is your name, my name, the class period, and the date, okay? And then the first centered assignment title on your paper, you're going to write Practice Set 2-2. We're going to be doing several practice sets on this paper today. And at the very end, I'll give you directions on how to turn in a handwritten assignment. So bear with me. On your paper, you're going to copy the following sentences down and diagram the simple subject and the verb on your paper. So in this example, Lindsay left before the finale. Left is our verb because it's our action, right? You can physically leave. Then we ask, who left? Lindsay. So Lindsay is our subject. Before the finale is a prepositional phrase. All right, so our subject verb pattern is Lindsay left. So if we look at number 1, we have Hector sneezed. Our action in this sentence is sneezed because you can physically do it. And then you ask, who sneezed? Hector. So our diagram should look like this. Hector sneezed. All right. So go ahead and pause me, write down the next 2 through 5 sentences, and then diagram each sentence. Okay? Pause me, and I'll see you in the next slide. All right, so we're going to talk about one more sentence pattern today. This is called subject, verb, direct object. I'll probably abbreviate this to SVDO, okay? So some verbs take a direct object, which is now a noun or a pronoun that receives the action of the verb. So if we look at the sentence, John drove the car, we know that drove is our verb because that's what happened, right? So somebody drove. To find the subject, we ask who or what did the action. Who drove? John did, so John is the subject. To find a direct object, ask whom or what after the verb. What did John drive? He drove the car, so car is the direct object. Thus, the subject does the action and the direct object receives the action. So again, the direct object is always a noun or a pronoun. We don't include the in there because that's an article. And remember, articles are always adjectives. All right? So here's the examples for subject, verb, direct object in these sentences. The New York Giants won the game. So the action that's happening is won. Who won? The New York Giants. So that's our subject. What did the New York Giants win? The game. Okay. Next we have the chef cooked a great dinner. Our action is cooked. Who cooked? The chef. So that's our subject and verb. What did the chef cook? Dinner. Okay. And remember, pronouns can also serve as subjects or direct objects. Consider the following example. She asked him to the movies. She is a pronoun. She asked is our verb, and him is our direct object. Okay? They flew us on their private plane. Flew is our verb, right? You can physically do it. Who flew? They, right? So that's our subject. Who did they fly? Us. Okay? So we're also going to talk about diagramming the subject, verb, direct object sentences. We're going to practice how to diagram the SVDO sentence pattern, and it looks like this. So if we cover up the direct object with the line, it looks exactly the same as it did with just the subject verb. So we have our long horizontal line, we have our vertical line in between subject and verb that goes all the way down past the horizontal line. But with a direct object, that line between verb and direct object stops right at the horizontal line. So notice that subject, verb, and direct object are sitting on the same horizontal line. The vertical line between subject and verb goes past the horizontal line, right here, past the horizontal line. Let me show you what I mean. And the vertical line between verb and direct object sits directly on top of the horizontal line. So this never goes down here. Nope. Okay? I forget that you guys can't see that I'm like pointing with my finger, so bear with me. I'm doing my best to draw on here. So here's our practice for subject, verb, direct object diagramming. So we're moving back to our piece of paper and our pencil. You're going to skip a line, and in the center, you're going to write practice set 3 as our title for the next section. Okay? Copy down the following sentences, and then you're going to diagram the subject, verb, and direct objects below, just like we were doing before. So our example here, Joe saw a cat. Our action is saw, right? Who saw? Joe. And what did Joe see? A cat, right? So Joe is our subject, saw is our verb, and cat is our direct object. So let's do the next one together. I'll try to write tiny. So in bed with rheumatic fever, 13-year-old Bobby Bowden used his imagination. So our verb here is used. I know that it might be confusing because it's near the end. It's like in the second half of the sentence. And we almost always see the subject and the verb near the very beginning of the sentence. But this is a good example. So in bed, remember in is a preposition. So in bed with rheumatic fever is a prepositional phrase. So we can pretend like that's not there. 13-year-old is an adjective describing Bobby, right? So that doesn't count as subject, verb, or object. Then we have Bobby Bowden used his imagination. So if we cut down the sentence, make it simpler for us. Bobby Bowden used his imagination. we got used as our verb, right? Because you can use something. Who used? Bobby Bowden. And what did he use? Imagination. Okay, so let's diagram this. Bobby, remember we use our capitals. Bowden used imagination. And then we go like this here. And then pretend like I didn't do that there. I would erase that if I had a pencil, but I don't know how to erase on this thing. Okay, so Bobby Bowden used his imagination. Okay, so pause me and write down numbers 2 through 5 and diagram them for me. Okay. All right, so after you've done that practice set, we're going to do one more practice. I know this is a lot of practice today, but I really want you to feel comfortable and get used to the sentence diagramming. All right, so you're going to title the last section of your paper Sentence Pattern 1 and 2 Practice. So again, skip a line from where you left off with the last practice and then center Sentence Pattern 1 and 2 Practice. Okay? So you're going to copy down the following sentences. You're going to underline the subject once, the verb twice, and put parentheses around the prepositional phrases. Then label whether the sentence pattern is SV, so subject verb, or subject verb direct object. Diagram each sentence according to the pattern. So here's my example. I refuse. Refuse is a verb, something you can do. Who refuse? I. So I is our subject, refuse is our verb, and that is the subject verb sentence pattern because we don't have a direct object there. Okay, so our diagram looks like this. The next one, Miss Brown loves tacos. Okay, so Miss Brown is our subject, loves is our verb. What do I love? Tacos, right? So this is subject, verb, direct object. Okay, so our diagram looks like this. Miss Brown loves tacos. A little more visible there. Okay. And let's do one with a prepositional phrase just to help you. There's another one in here with one, but I'm going to move down to the bottom. So, I dance with my sick moves. You know I made these sentences. I'm hip. So, we know that our we know that our verb is dance because it's something we can do. Who dances? I do. With my sick moves. So we know that with is a preposition. With what? My sick moves. That's our noun phrase. So we could just say, remember, prepositions is extra information. We don't need that to make a sentence. So I dance would be a sentence without that, right? So this is actually a subject verb because there's no direct object. We just have our preposition. So I dance. All right. Complete the rest on your own and look on your assignment page to see how to turn it in. I didn't write the directions yet on here, but if you just want me to explain it really quick, what you're going to do is use your laptops and you're going to take a picture of what you wrote down. If your teacher is okay with it, you may also use your phone and email the picture to yourself, But it's easier just to take the picture on your laptop, save it to your computer, and then when you go to the assignment, click the Submit button, click Upload, and choose the place where you saved the picture. Choose that file, okay? And just do it that way. Please make sure, again, that your assignment is readable and that your picture is readable so I can see what you know. Please let me know if you have any questions or you want to do some of this one-on-one. This is hard, and it is probably a lot harder because I can't be physically with you all the time working on this one-on-one. So please, please, please do not hesitate to ask for help. We can do a Zoom meeting and we can write and go through this stuff virtually. I can come find you and I can work with you if you would rather. You can come to me. We'll figure it out. I want you to do well, okay? So please let me know if you need help, and I will see ya soon. Bye, guys.